Hi everyone. In this video, we will understand and interpret critical values. Angela, a financial analyst, hypothesizes that the proportion of companies investing in green technology is less than last year's estimate of 25%. She finds a test statistic of -2.10 and a critical value of -1.645. Is there enough evidence to reject the null hypothesis? Let's go ahead and identify the null hypothesis and the alternative hypothesis from what we were given. Reading above again, we see that she is claiming that there is less than last year's estimate. A less than sign is an alternative hypothesis. So we are looking for, and we are discussing proportion. So the proportion is less than the estimate of 25% or 0.25. Which means our null hypothesis, which is the accepted norm or is equal to or has an equal sign, will be 0.25, that the proportion is 0.25. Now let's go find where this test statistic and the critical value lie. I always draw these out because it is much easier to visualize. So here we have our normal curve. We have the proportion here, the accepted norm of 25%, and we have a test statistic of -2.1 and a critical value of -1.645. Let's go ahead and graph where our critical value is. This is 1.645. That means 1.645 standard deviations below the accepted norm or the proportion here. So here we have about 1 standard deviation, 2 standard deviations, and 1.645, and it's negative, so we're going to the left. It's going to fall a little beyond the 1.5 way point. So I'm going to say here is our critical value, our cutoff, so to say. So -1.645, this is where our critical value is. Now let's go find where the test statistic lies, -2.1. This means 2 and 0.1 standard deviations below, because it's also negative. So we have 1, 2, that was here, so 2.1 is going to fall about right here. So our test statistic, or t-value, is -2.10, and it is falling beyond our critical value. One more thing just to verify is that this is a less than sign. That means that we are looking at a left-tailed test or lower than the proportion, which means that everything is lining up. Our test statistic, our critical value, and our less than sign are all putting us in the left tail, so that's good. And we can see that this test statistic is placing us beyond our cutoff of where it will be accepted as being the norm or not. So we can say, yes, there is sufficient evidence to reject the null hypothesis. So we have answered our question if there is enough evidence to reject the null hypothesis, which we can because it falls beyond our tolerance level. And so we say there is sufficient evidence to reject the null hypothesis that the proportion of companies investing in green technology equals 25%. And we're all done.